Okay, here's the answers to homework prelim preparation sheet 2. First question, the bod mass question, we do the multiplication first of all, and 2.6 times 4 comes out to be 10.4. We add that on to the 3.1, which gives 13.5. A nice easy start. Second question, fractions. First thing we do is we add the whole numbers to give us 7. New bottom number is 24. Now 8 goes into 24 3 times, so a new 15 on the top. 3 goes in 8 times, and 8 twos, a new 16 on the top. That gives us 7 and 31 over 24. 24 goes into 31 a whole number of times, so add that to the 7 to make 8, and there's 7 left over. So 8 and 7 over 24. Question. Functions. This -5 needs to go in the places where m is. So f of -5 is -5 squared, take away 3 lots of -5. Now -5 squared is 25, -3 times -5 is positive 15, add them together and we get 40. Question 4, now this was a disaster in the homework. Fractional equations, the number on the bottom is a 4, so that means that we need to multiply everything by a 4. So put little 4s here. Now 4 times 2x gives us 8x. This 4 and this 4 cancels. So we're left with take away. Now we need to put the 3x minus 1 in brackets because it's on the top. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Removing the brackets gives us 8x minus 3x, add 1 equals 16. Tidying up gives us 5x is 15, so 1x must be 3. So check we can do this, guys. Question 5, the gradient. So using the gradient formula, putting the values in that we are given, gives us t take away a over t squared take away a squared. Now you have to simplify this. How are you going to simplify this? Then we need to factorise the bottom. If we factorise the bottom, it's a difference of squares, t minus a, t plus a. The t minus a on the top and the bottom cancel, which leaves us with a 1 over t plus a altogether. Question 6. Now this is awkward because there's lots of fractions involved here. So we need to find the roots first of all, so those red dots. How do we find those? Then we solve 4x squared plus 4x minus 3 equals 0. This factorises into 2x, add 3, and 2x minus 1. First bracket gives us 2x is -3, or x is -3 over 2. Second bracket gives us 2x is 1, or x is a half. So that means that a is the point -3 over 2, 0, and b is the point a half 0. Question did ask for the coordinates, so you need to give it as coordinates. Secondly, how do we find where it cuts the y-axis, the green dot there? Well, it's always the number at the end, but not as you have written down. It's a coordinate, so it has to be written as 0, -3, not just -3. Second part of the question was to find the equation of the turning point. Now the turning point, we know, lies on the line of symmetry. So the roots were -3 over 2 and a half. Halfway between those is x equals -1/2. So we need to substitute that back into the original expression. So that's y equals 4 times -1/2 squared plus 4 times -1/2, take away 3. Now, -1/2 squared is a quarter. 4 times negative half is negative 2. 4 times a quarter is 1. So 1 take away 2, take away 3, gives us negative 4. So the turning point is negative a half, negative 4. Nobody actually got that. So check it again. Question 7. Well, 3 goes into 24 8 times, so this becomes 1 over root 8. Rationalise the denominator means you put a root on the top and bottom. Root 8 can be written as root 4 times root 2. Root 8 times root 8 is 8. Root 4 is 2 root 2 over 8. The 2 and the 8 cancels to give you a final answer of root 2 over 4. Now there are slightly different ways of doing this question, but you should always end up with that answer. Question 8, vectors. We need to work out what 2u add v is. So, oops, sorry, made a little mistake. Right, the question says 2v add u. So that's 2 lots of negative 4, 2 lots of 1, and 2 lots of 2. And then we're adding on to that u, which is 2, 0, negative 4. Negative 8 add 2 is negative 6. 2 add 0 is 2. And 4 add negative 4 is 0. Now we need to find the magnitude. How do we do that? It's like a big Pythagoras question. Square the negative 6, the 2, and the 0, which gives us root 40, which can become root 4 root 10, which simplifies to 2 root 10. Question 9. If it's this per minute, times it by 60 for an hour, times it by 24 for a day, times it by 365 for a year. And if you do all that, you get a great big number of 5256, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Now the question did ask you to answer it in standard form to 3 significant figures, so that is 5.26 times 10 to the power 9. A lot of you forgot to do that. Read the question. Question 10, find the equation of this line. Well, we need to work out the gradient between the 2 points. So the gradient is 6 take away 2 over 12 take away 0. Where did the 0 come from, you're asking? Because this point here is actually 0, 2. So that gives us 4 over 12, which is 1 over 3. You can either use y equals mx plus c, but most of you used y minus b equals mx minus a. Any of the 2 points, doesn't matter which one you pick. I'll pick the second one. Y minus 6 equals 1/3 of x minus 12. Cross multiply 3y minus 18 equals x minus 12. Tidy it up and you get 3y minus x equals 6. The second part of the question is nonsense. I made a mistake, so we'll just ignore that. Question 7. The volume of the first cylinder is pi r squared h, which is pi times 3.25 squared times 15, and that comes out to be 497.7. Cylinder has the same volume, so pi r squared h is going to be the 497.7. What do we know in this one? We know that the height is 12. Take the pi and the 12 over, you get r squared is 497.7 divided by the pi times 12. R squared comes out to be 13.2. and square rooting that gives us the new radius of 3.6 centimetres. This question has nothing to do with similarity, only similarity if it mentions in the question, and this one does not. Question 12, doing these in class, so 2 sine x equals 0.8, some of you just read that as 0 rather than 0.8, take away the 1. So sine x is negative 0.1. Do your all sine tan cos. Sine is negative, so that means we're going to have to tick the T and the C boxes. Get the related acute angle, the Ra, it turns out to be 6 degrees. So your answers are 180 add 6, which is 186, and 360 minus 6, which is 354. Question 13, the formula question. You can only do the formula when you rearrange it to equal 0. Then you get your value for A, then you get your value for B, then you get your value for C, and you should work through the question and it pops out answers as x equals 1 and x equals 3 over 2. Check that. If it's not working, come and ask. Last question, sine rule, x over sine 86 equals 18 over sine 62. Take the sine 86 over and you get x equals sine 86 times 18 over sine 62, and if you type that in properly on your calculator you should get 20.3 centimetres. If you're not sure about any of those because that was quick, then please ask.